Hey, how's it going, everybody? Like Butter here, and I promised you guys that I would do a video to show off my build, give you guys some tips on why I think this build is one of the better ones in 1.6, and to give you guys kind of a breakdown of why I use certain things in my build. So this has been heavily requested in my past division videos, so I thought I would go ahead and show you guys what I am playing with. Now, this is a build that can be used both for PvE and PvP. I think it's a more PvP oriented build, but it absolutely shreds in PvE. So whether you're on the PvE side of things or on the PvP side of things, you should be good to go with this build. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the main rifle that I'm using, which is a lightweight M4. There is a lightweight M4 blueprint that is in the base of operations or in the terminal over here to the left if you want to get it. I definitely suggest saving up some Phoenix credits to grab it. I think it's like 1,042. Definitely something you want to pick up. It's a 256, and it's I still think the lightweight M4 is one of the better weapons in the game. So I was using the M4 before, but I actually rolled this one today. I am running Unforgiving, Responsive, and Competent. Responsive obviously being an extremely strong talent because of that extra 10% damage, stacked with the amount of damage of Unforgiving. You're going to see why Unforgiving goes really well with our build because we're a little bit squishier. And then also Competent, so that when you pop that heal or you pop that pulse, you're going to be able to do large amounts of damage. So you can see that this is a damage percentage stacking build. The idea is to get as much weapon damage as physically possible so that it can go with your stacks of striker. So for attachments, I have none other than the VX1 scope. I tried the 5.52 hollow sight. I didn't really like it. It seemed like it wasn't helping too much. It's definitely worth to continue with the headshot damage. At first, I was thinking, well, you know, I'm not really aiming for the head too much with the lightweight M4 because I want to hit stacks. And when you're getting stacks, it's much more efficient to shoot in the body. But I noticed that my damage was kind of dropping off a lot. And in Last Stand, a lot of people kind of square up with you when you got that 1v1. And it's very easy to hit headshots. But if you're on console, it might be better to grab crit chance here, because I would assume on console it's a lot harder, especially with the stagger and all the other crazy stuff going on in the game, that it'll be much harder to hit consistent headshots. So if you're on console, I would definitely go with a 5.52 hollow sight here. For my suppressor, obviously I'm using headshot damage as my main attribute, so the Omega rifle suppressor. I also tried a loud vent break, but you just can't get enough crit chance on this build for that to be useful. So I think it's way better just to get that headshot damage in, crit damage and crit chance. On my underbarrel, I also tried a alternate version of this where I used the PEQ lasers because it made it a lot more accurate. I think this is still a very good choice, but I decided to go back to the small grip because that 19% crit damage helps so incredibly much. It's actually insane. And then for my extended mag, obviously you want crit chance, rate of fire, especially on the M4. You could go crit damage instead. I think there is a version of this where it gives you something other than fire rate, but I think fire rate's still pretty good. Yeah, right here, like crit chance, crit damage. But that's entirely up to you. I honestly think that a little bit of rate of fire helps. And for my secondary weapon, I am using a showstopper. You can also use an SASG. The idea is to get your stacks up with the shotgun. Just to let you know, though, it's very annoying. The stagger is very frustrating in this game. I hope they deal with it in some way, shape, or form. But I have a rugged mini reflex sight just to get my crit chance up a little bit so that when I do hit those shots, it increases my chance to stagger. The higher amount of damage you do, the higher the chance of staggering, I believe. I think that's how it works. Regardless, you're going to be staggering people a lot with this gun. The PEQ laser just to help my accuracy out, because you do want to be able to hit a lot of shots with this. And for our talents, we are running responsive, which is a given. You want responsive because you're going to be using this up close, unforgiving, and showstopper. Showstopper is very good because when your accuracy gets really high, when your mag is lower. So what you can do sometimes is you can actually leave your magazine on like 4 to 5 shots and then take it out, and you can almost shoot it just like an assault rifle, it has so much range, and you're just trying to stack up those. I'm gonna show you guys a clip here where you can see what it's like to get 100 stacks with the shotgun, and then you can just completely delete people as long as your stacks are up there. All right, so for my sidearm, which doesn't matter too much for this, I'm using a 93R just in case, you're trying to, get a couple of stacks or whatever. The pistol's not going to matter too much. And then we are running 4-striker. We're running short bow championship knee pads for that really short diffuse timer on the grenades, or explosion timer, I should say. The reason you want to do this is because this build goes very well with the shot grenades, and I'll show you that here in a second. But also I'm using Savage. I just think Savage is really good. I don't know. You could probably use something else if you wanted to switch these two around. You wanted to put Specialized on to get a little bit more skill power. But in between 80% and 100, or 80,000 and 100,000 skill power, it doesn't seem to make too much of a difference with the skills that I'm using. So I opted to go for the Savage gloves since no one ever really uses cover in PvP. And also, you always got the NPCs running at you out of cover too, so that extra 7% crit chance is really helpful, seeing that this build kind of lacks crit chance a little bit. So to make up for that, I did crit chance mods here. You could switch this up, and you could also put health. Health is also really good. You can do exotic damage resilience if you're doing a tankier build and you don't want to get one-shotted by those seeker mines. But I decided to go with crit chance. So I'm using crit chance firearms mods on pretty much everything, but on my harness, you want to make sure you get health here, and exotic damage resilience is really, really helpful in this meta. You can actually go two-piece final measure if you really, really want. If you still feel like, grenades and seeker mines are doing too much damage to you, you do 2 final measure, and it's going to be able to reduce that damage quite a bit. So let's get back here. So health, and also obviously ammo capacity is pretty important too. This gets leveled up to the highest amount. So although this is a bit lower of a roll, it's like 50 or 48 under the max. It's what I use. For my mask, I have enemy armor damage, which is still super helpful in PvE. Not so much in PvP anymore, but it still helps a bit. Blind and deaf resistance here, which, I think burn resistance is the best you can get on your mask. Then on my knee pads, I have exotic damage resilience. You can get this or health. Either or it isn't that bad. Shock resist, disorient resist, and blind and deaf resistance. So a lot of resistances here on my knee pads. I have that also rolled into stamina because I wanted a little bit of extra stamina with this build. You can go a more glass cannon version of this, which I'll probably be testing out in the future, where instead of running with 5,900 stamina, you run with about, like 4,900, and then you get like 7k firearms if you want to just be able to blast people a lot quicker. That might be something I switch around. Maybe I'll get firearms on my gloves or something. I could always roll this to AR, and then I could switch it like that, and then it would look a little bit different. So, but yeah, anyways. So let's also go over our backpack. So there's a few different things you can get for your backpack. I opted to get health here. You can also get stability if you need it. If maybe you're playing on console and the stability is just a little bit too hard to control with a controller, you can get stability here. I think that would be a pretty good stat. But you can also get skill power. I don't think skill power is that helpful unless you're already building a lot of skill power. If you're doing a skill build, skill power here would be okay. And if you're using SMGs, guys, remember, you want crit damage on your knee pads and your backpack. It's very important to get crit damage on those 2 pieces of gear. It's needed. You just get too much value not to get that. And then, like I said before, I'm using Savage gloves, assault rifle damage, crit chance. And then for my holster, there's a couple different things you can do here. Some people like to get health. You can get about 7,000 health here. But I really think the reload speed is the best possible attribute on your holster. Some people will argue that crit chance is better. I think crit chance is also very, very good, but for me personally, that 20% reload speed is so unbelievably helpful, because if you just sat there for one game and had someone sit behind you and count the amount of times you reload during a match, I think it would kind of surprise you. And the amount of time, if you're reducing that by 20%, you're going to be spending a lot more time shooting and a lot less time reloading. And for my performance mods, I'm using First Aid Self-Heal. Honestly, I think it would be much more beneficial here to get Pulse Critical Hit Chance. Although a lot of people in Last Stand use, Counter Pulse as well, or Conceal, it's very hard to get value out of that. But if you're running PvE content, I think it is much more beneficial to get that Pulse Critical Hit Chance, because obviously they can't, get rid of the marking when you mark NPCs. So that is pretty much the build that I'm running. So for talents, you can change this up a bit too. And also, like, if you're doing PvE, make sure that you switch this to here, so you get a little bit more crit damage. But you can see, like, the pulse, it's not very good, right? It's like only 6.8% crit chance. But really, the reason I use pulse isn't so much for the stats that it gives me. I use it more for vision. Vision is very, very important in this game, especially if you're doing Last Stand. You need to know where people are and whatnot. And then booster shot, I think it gives you too much of a damage boost if you're already doing a lot of damage with your striker, with your striker stacks. So, okay, so let's go over the talents really quickly. You can change this up. I'm using Combat Medic, which I think is a must-have if you're playing Last Stand, or even in like incursions or legendary mode or anything like that. There's so many, the cooldowns are so much longer now, and it's so much harder to heal, that healing your teammates with your medkits is going to become very, very, very helpful. You can also use critical save here. I don't. I actually opt out and use precision most of the time, just because of the simple fact that I stated earlier, a lot of people use counter pulse, so being able to mark them after they've used conceal is very, very helpful. I also use on the move, which isn't great. It doesn't make too big of a difference, but in Last Stand, you can there's so many people dying all the time that you can just shoot them while you're moving and automatically get that boost. And then, of course, one is none, which is essential in any build, no matter what you're running, in my opinion. So that is the striker build there. I have these skins here, the Spectrum skins, which I think are the best skins that they've released. It's like all the cool little pretty colors, got a matching backpack. If you sign in this week, you get free premium credits, and you already got free premium credits if you got the season pass. And I think they also gave 170 to people in general, so I think you can get one of these skins absolutely for free, if it's something you're interested in. I would suggest getting the weapon skin, because you can use it on all different weapons, but then again, you can use it on all the different backpacks too. So thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate it. I know it's been a rough time for the division. I am not giving up on the division though. Some people think I'm like quitting it. I'm not quitting it. It's just I don't think it's getting enough support in year 2 for it to remain the only thing I post or my main game. But I will continue to do these videos as long as you guys request them, and as long as you guys enjoy them. I'll continue forward and be able to hopefully bring you guys more interesting and cool builds to use. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I've been Like Butter, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to drop the video a like, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care, everybody. They've got Charlie.